The Community Report from Shanni Scott on HOT107.3 Jamz.
Shanni Scott's on with you in the midday, and I am so honored and pleasured to have Pastor Caraway in the studio with me today. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great, and yourself?
I am wonderful and better now that you're here. You brightened up the studio.
All right, maybe it was Fred Hammond to brighten it up.
Okay, well, a very serious matter that we're going to discuss today. We're actually going to talk about a call to peace. Here recently, we just lost another young lady, Miss Brianna Young, passed last week due to gun violence. And Pastor Caraway is here in the studio with us to talk about and give us some steps that we can take to better reach out to our children, our youth, our teens, and help them see that there's a better way than this. So, Pastor, my first question to you is, what steps do we take to get our youth on the right track when it comes to issues like this?
You know, there are several things that come to mind, but one thing in particular is trying to teach them how to have conflict resolution, knowing how to resolve conflicts without having to go to violence. I think a lot of times it's the atmosphere when you create violence, it's hard to get away from that without getting someone hurt. And so not knowing how to diffuse a situation or how to resolve a conflict without it escalating to violence is one of the things that we need to address.
Okay, I have a question. Okay, I'm a single mom. Let's say I'm a single mom. I have a teenage son, 2 teenage sons. And I have to work 2 jobs to make sure that everything is taken care of at home. So I can't always be there with them to make sure that they're staying on the right path. Are there any organizations, any programs that I can put my sons in to make sure, or my girls, to make sure that they're actually in a controlled environment with an adult or some person of authority watching them, so that we can make sure that they're not getting involved in trouble?
Well, I know there are a lot of local churches that provide things for, youth programs, but, one of the primary programs here is Boys and Girls Club, especially during the day, depending on that particular age group, that offer a safe environment, an environment that's conducive to learning, and I think that's a good alternative. And then the city of Tyler, having served on the city council, have different daytime programs that are designed to keep young people in a safe environment. And I just believe that we have to look at what's offered by the culture. We have to have an alternative to that.
So what advice do you have? Let's say I don't decide to take those steps. Then what can I do? Where can I start in my home with my children as far as instilling certain values in them? What's your advice on that?
I'm a parent, and I think as parents, we do the very best we can. We live in a time when young people are really moved by the environment that they're in. And so one of the things that I really look at is trying to keep young people in an environment where you have organizations that produce things that help them develop in the time of their age. One of the things about being youth, you're caught between being an adult and being an adolescent. And there's a whole lot of complications that go with that. And so one of the things that we do, I'm involved in organized sports and different things, trying to give them that group setting and giving them that support that they need to help them make good decisions.
Shanni Scott's on with you, and we have a special guest in studio. Pastor Caraway is here, and we are sharing ideas on what steps we can take to make our community a better place for all, for as far as safety goes, instilling some more values in our young men, and getting them on the right path. So, Pastor, we are coming up on the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, and you were telling me that at that time you were
9 years old.
9 years old.
Yeah.
And do you remember where you were? Did you watch it on TV?
I remember I watched it on television. I was at my aunt's house, and at that particular time, the March on Washington, I remember the Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech. And at that time, I had no idea really at 9 years old what it was all about.
After experiencing that at 9 and going through each year after that and seeing all the things that you've seen, what is your feeling? What is your take on the young people? Do you feel like we appreciate what our past ancestors did for us? Are we at the right place? Are we at the wrong place? Should we be doing better?
Well, coming up on this 50 years, I think we have a generation that has missed out on what took place at that time. I think if Dr. King could come back, he would want to know really what happened with the ideals and the process that he started. In ways we've decreased from that. Dr. King was nonviolent, and we've just experienced here, in our town, the violence, and he sure would be disappointed with that. And then the academic aspect of it. He was very much about education and having a formal training, and I think we lack in that area of not getting that education that's available. When you look back on all of our ancestors that didn't have that opportunity,
Right.
I think we should do a better job of taking advantage of that.
So where do you think we as a generation went wrong?
It's just my opinion. I think we gave too much and didn't teach enough.
Okay.
We gave our children, I believe, out of just sheer guilt. We want to give them more than what we had materialistically, but I don't think we gave them the same values we had
Okay.
and the work ethic.
Well, I appreciate you coming in, dropping by, spending this time with us, and voicing your thoughts with us. And moving forward, what we have agreed to do is sit down, come together again, and we're going to come up with a form and come up with some ideas that some steps that we can take here in East Texas to make a better place for our youth and ourselves, right?
Sure, we appreciate the opportunity. I think this is a great opportunity, and we appreciate you guys for just using the airways to reach out to the community.
And once again, tell us the location of your church.
We're located right off the loop on Highway 155, 4000 Frankston Highway, just inside the loop.
And winter services?
Services are Sunday morning. We have a 7:45 service and also a 10 a.m. service. And then we have several things going on each Wednesday night for the adults and for the youth.
And what time do they start on Wednesday?
6 o'clock on Wednesday.
Okay, so 6 o'clock Wednesday. If y'all missed yesterday, you can go get your praise on, all right? Make sure you're in the house. And once again, thank you so much, Pastor Caraway. We really appreciate you. And Hot 107.3 Jamz loves you, and you are a family member for life. This is your station now,
Thank
okay?
you for the opportunity.
The Community Report from Shanni on Hot 107.3 Jamz.